Welcome to the Pool Kind of Podcast, the new home for boxing. My name is Wendy, and I am your host and curator, bringing you the most honest takes on the sport I love without the bias and without the politics. A spot where we can all lead, seasoned veterans to the game and newcomers alike. So stay strapped in, subscribe, wrap those hands right, give us 5 stars, and keep that chin tucked. Tell your people about us. So who you got? The Pool Kind of Podcast. Let's go. What's going on? Welcome to the Pool Kind of Podcast. My name is Wendy. And first of all, I got to let y'all know I'm here with my boy Brandon. And I just told him I'm going to introduce us as the best duo in boxing media, man. I just got to do it how I do. Hey, man, come on.
Let's get it. Come on, family.
Hey, you already know, man.
Hey,
we are
back
at it. All right. We're back at it. All right. Name a better boxing podcast, huh? Name a better one.
We're undisputed.
Undisputed. That's a fact. I like that. Nah, but hope everything is good out there for y'all, man, because life is pretty good. You know, family's doing good. How you doing, man? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm blessed. Happy to be here for another week. We got some good fights coming up. A lot of good stuff to talk about.
Okay. Something slightly different that's kind of been bugging me. You know what I mean? Since I kind of started this journey of creating this platform and, speaking to the people and doing something that I'm not typically used to, like social media. I'm not really a big social media guy.
Like I said, for me as well.
Right. But due to the platform, I'm on it more frequently than I would probably like. But what I've been noticing is that there's a lot of factions, bro. Like, there's a lot of, it's like sides, bro. Like, it's 100%. Like, who's the popular kids? And we're all going to go for the popular kids. You know what I mean? And if you're not for the popular kid, like, it's so weird. It's like, and I get fandom. Like, I understand if you're a fan of a particular fighter or whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's like literal, like, whole pages that, like, ride or die. Yeah. Like, damn, they're dedicated.
You know what's so funny?
Strange, bro.
You hear the fighters say this thing about the side of the street.
Yeah.
And all the media outlets have chosen their sides as well.
Okay, that's true.
And it's crazy.
That's I don't know. I personally don't like it. It gets a little icky when I'm noticing it, because you'll see like obvious situations, like a fight turn out a certain way. Mm-hmm. But you get a whole half of the internet like, oh no, he was making excuses for the fight. Yeah. And we obviously saw that when the infamous fight from last year with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. But right. Bro, this happens a lot, bro. And for me, it's just something that, one, again, it's new to me. So just realizing that, it's kind of like, ooh, I don't
yeah.
Like,
it's like, I get it, because obviously we're all human, and you can take a liking to a fighter and things like that. But ultimately, as an outlet, you need to stay as neutral as possible.
Right. Try to be as unbiased as you can, man. Y'all out there, take notes, all right? Take notes. Hey, but one thing I gotta go on, I gotta talk about before we actually get into to most of the topics today. I gotta congratulate Alicia Baumgartner. We talked about it, but we didn't really give her congratulations. She is cleared. Shout out to you. We knew it. Right,
100%. 100%.
I was like 95.
Yeah,
95.
I'm so happy for her, because as somebody who's been trying to, I speak about women's boxing often to peers and things of that nature.
Yeah, right.
And I often am like, hey, you got to watch Alicia, because she has the punching power and her style. She's trained by a professional male boxer,
Tony Harrison.
Mm-hmm. She has a lot of swagger to her. Mm-hmm. Right. It's kind of like, when you watch a WNBA player, hey, you should watch Diana Taurasi, because
you need to.
She's the best, and it looks most like male basketball, and you'll like that same type of thing. Alicia Baumgartner is awesome. She has the power that a lot of women don't have, and she gets KOs. So when I saw some of the drug testing stuff, it made me nervous, because I was like, man, as the main power puncher in women's boxing, if she was to be negative, that would just put a bad light.
Yeah, that would have been terrible, man.
Yeah.
And you bring up Tony Harrison as her trainer. Mm-hmm. I actually saw her recently training with Bomac.
I did see that.
Yeah, too. That's Terence Crawford's trainer. For those that don't know, he actually won Trainer of the Year for 2023. So, man, she's staying busy. She's staying very active. Somebody asked me the other day, he's a newcomer to boxing and whatnot, and he's like, man, remember that girl? Who's that girl, man? Alicia. And I'm like, Alicia Baumgart. He's like, yeah, don't she got a fight coming up? I'm like, nah, not that I know. Like, I don't. Right. But he's been seeing her on social media more often. Yeah. You know what I mean? And her name has been tied to certain people, like a Clarissa Shields. Yeah. And and you actually, when you brought up the power situation and knocking out people's situation, that's kind of the first thing that came to my mind. You know what I mean? She great record, but them knockouts don't come so easy for Mrs. Shields, man. But salute to her. The GWOAT still. It would be so nice if that was actually like possible.
That was really a thing.
Yeah, if it was like really a thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just we talked about that last episode, but But you bring up women's boxing, man. There was a fight last week. I ended up watching it, and and it related to Alicia Baumgartner as well. But Mikaela Meyer, who actually lost to Alicia Baumgartner in the UK. Big fight I think it was at the O2 Arena.
The big fight.
A big fight. She had a fight against Natasha Jonas last weekend. Lost a tough one, man.
She did.
Lost a tough
What you
one.
think about it?
Well, I had some keys to the fight early on. I thought, being the longer fighter, taller fighter as well, I thought she should have stayed behind her jab, showed different levels, especially with the body, and pretty much set up that left. You know what I mean? Pretty much set up. I think, she has a nice left. Pretty much set up that left. She tried to bang, and that's the wrong. Natasha is the wrong person because she a headhunter. Right. That's the wrong person to bang with.
Right.
So it didn't go how I wanted it to go. How I thought it should go.
So first of all, shout out to the ladies for giving us a fight.
I love it.
They threw punches from.
I love it.
That could be. I don't want to separate them, but that could be Women's Fight of the Year. They were really throwing, right?
So I tell Amanda Serrano's. I think she's coming.
She's gonna be up there.
That's always Women's
Fight. The year
just
started, but I was really impressed by Meyer and Jonas and the output, the way that they fought. Like you mentioned, Mikaela Meyer pressed the action, so she was the one walking forward.
She did.
And you know what's interesting? It reminded me of the Alicia Baumgartner fight, not necessarily in regards to going backwards, because Baumgartner was aggressive in that fight too, but just Jonas's power and the power difference. Yeah. I think the power difference is what ended up winning Jonas the fight. Yeah.
Crisper shots. Her shots. You know what I mean? Yeah. That matters.
You could see when she hurt. Yeah. Mikaela Meyer.
Right.
Even though Meyer had really good volume, her volume was really good, and she had
great moments.
She had great moments. But when Jonas landed the good, she's a southpaw, so she landed some good left hands as well. And her straight left and her overhand left looked like they hurt Meyer a lot. Yeah, they landed well, man. And you could see kind of when she would hurt her.
Yeah, and first of all, shout out to her, Natasha Jonas. I actually like her. It's just that when I was thinking about the fight early on before it happened, it was like, man, I could see. Obviously, I could see it easily going for Jonas as well. But man,
was a favorite.
I thought, she was, and I'm like, yo, just you longer, stay behind that jab, go for that shot, because she's a power puncher as well.
I feel like, especially now that I've seen her fight two girls that could really crack. Yeah, she needs to box.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think
that's why I'm hoping she would have did that.
I think early in her career, it probably made her think that she could power punch. But now seeing her fight two girls in a row who could really punch, she should just continue boxing. She should just box and stick and move, use her distance. And she has great coaches. So I don't want to put it on the coaches because she has an excellent team with Kay Karoma. Yeah. And what's the older gentleman? Coach Al. Yeah. Right? So great coaches. But man, I really wish she would have just boxed a little bit. Yeah. Used her distance.
That was a tough one, man. Yeah. That was definitely a tough one. But like Natasha Jonas said in the post-fight interview, she's still young as far as Mikaela goes. She's still young. Definitely a long career ahead of her. And I think she'll be champ again. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
I feel like that. And we talked about this before, so I'm super happy when people lose that we don't try to denigrate them, right? So that was a great fight. Right. We shouldn't try to throw her low in the ranks. Give her another. It's not over for her. Right. Give her another great fight. I did hear that they don't have a rematch clause, which I thought was interesting.
They did not.
Does Jonas give her a rematch?
If I'm Jonas, business-wise,
it probably makes the most sense.
Business-wise. Yes, but you're taking a heck of a chance. But she seems like a warrior. I think she's a warrior. Right. So I personally would love to watch it.
I think they should do it again. And maybe Top Rank Well, let them get another time where they can headline too. 'Cause I
Right.
think that's always cool when the ladies can headline. So
Right. Only other thing, I mean, we just talked about Alicia Baumgartner, so unless she has something else coming, I mean, I've seen her name attached to a few different people, but that's a possibility.
Jonas Baumgartner.
Yeah, she would, but
Yeah.
I would love to
That
see
would
that
be
as
cool
well.
too. That would
I
be
would
cool
love to
too.
see that as well. But
Baumgartner, I think Baumgartner got too much for her.
Ooh,
But the Southpaw stuff makes it interesting for Jonas.
Baumgartner easily outboxes her.
Right.
Like it's the movement. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I think she outboxes.
And when
her.
she lands, she could hurt her too. I think that was just the difference. Mikaela Mayer, like especially towards the end when she was
Right.
getting tired, it was like she was tapping her a little bit.
Yeah.
Shoe shining.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But either way, guy, shout out to women's boxing. Boxing in general, this has been a great past few years, especially for women's boxing. I'm excited for the future. I think the sport is only going to grow. We're only going to see more talented fighters coming up from all over the world. So, hey, y'all better tune into women's boxing, man.
For sure. Shout out to the ladies.
Man. Yeah. No slander over here on
I would have
boxing.
loved to see that fight be a 3-round fight. So that goes back to maybe they need to extend, change some of those rules of women's boxing. Get them out of those 2 minutes.
3 minute round. 3 minute round.
3 minute round would have,
Yeah.
Maybe we got a clear.
I agree.
Decision.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, people have been fighting for those changes, but no pun intended. But no change as of yet. But we'll see if
great fight though.
Yeah, we'll see if these organizations make that change. All right, so you mentioned earlier about a fight that may not ever happen, like the Baumgartner Shields.
Yeah.
All right, another fight that we thought was gonna happen, right? Terence Crawford and Tim Tszyu.
Yeah.
Now is off completely. Yikes.
Talk about it.
So right now we have set for, I think it's March 30th, Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman. All right. If y'all don't know who Keith Thurman is, Keith One-Time Thurman, he used to be the man. Used to be the man back in the day. So I know he's looking to come in and cement something. So I'm excited to see this one, man. How you feel about it?
I'm hype about it too. Shout out to Keith. He's a Florida boy. I think he's from Clearwater.
Yeah.
I met Keith.
He plays chess too, man. What's up?
I met Keith in Orlando at a small Orlando boxing show. This was before he was a world champion, and I was one of the only people that recognized him. Came up to him, called him one time. He was super hype about it. Shook my hand.
He still had the long hair.
Yeah, he had the braids. He was a super nice dude. The one thing I remember is I'm taller than him. I'm about almost 6 foot or maybe 6 foot, and he had huge hands.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know he could crack.
Right.
He had huge hands.
One time.
He
always could crack.
One time for sure. Yeah. So I'm hyped to see him fight in a new weight class. I'm hyped to see him fight good competition again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you talked about it, man. I think I do feel bad for Terence because I feel like his chair was pulled from underneath him.
I don't think that's an accident.
You don't think so?
I don't think that's an accident at all, man. That kind of and that again, that fight is March 30th, so we got time. But as far as Terence Crawford, bro, I feel like he spoke a little too soon on some possible plans he had to kind of upset the apple cart as far as business goes within boxing. You know what I mean?
Because being in control
of your career. Because there's no secret right now that promoters just run the sport. You know what I mean? It's kind of like football in a way. Like unless you're a super mega star in football, you got agents and managers that kind of run run the situation or whatnot. Boxing is even worse. You know what I mean? Promoters run it all in boxing, unfortunately. So I see and I completely understand and agree with the sentiment that Terence Crawford might have had. And he never really explicitly said this. It was always like between his teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, especially with how the past few negotiations, though early still, have been going, it's almost hard to imagine that chairs aren't being pulled from under him.
Underneath him.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's I think that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
I really hope that's not happening. But come on.
So let's talk about the fight, right? Why would Terence Crawford want to fight Tim Tszyu? Because as a boxer, right, with the power puncher, and his ability to move,
right,
he thinks that he could probably make it easy.
Right.
So looking at it from Keith Thurman's standpoint, he can box, he can punch. What do we think about the way this fight could turn out?
Ooh, and I'm high on Tim Tszyu.
Yeah.
I'm definitely high on Tim Tszyu, man. I think Keith Thurman would have to get him out there early. Considering Keith Thurman's last few fights, he's not the one time that we remember him.
We remember, right?
So, to me, that doesn't really play in his favor. Honestly, we haven't seen him here though in this in a while and in this division. So,
for sure,
if he were to come out and start early, because Tim Tszyu is notoriously a slow starter, if he was able to come out and start early, I can definitely see an upset,
Right.
I wouldn't put no money on it though.
I
You know
can
what I'm saying?
see what
No
Keith
money.
was thinking as like, this kid just doesn't know enough.
Right.
He hasn't been in a pay-per-view, a big show.
Right.
Keith Thurman has good legs still. He can move. And like we mentioned, he can punch. But is he going to be able to stop Tim Tszú's output? Once he gets it going, does Tim Tszú just roll Keith Thurman?
I think he gets rolled over, but it's still so far away. So this is not an official who you got, right?
Right. We just talking about it.
We just talking about it. But that's still a good fight.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though he's not gonna fight Terence Crawford, this is still a good fight, man. Shout out to Terence Crawford, man. Now that I'm talking about Crawford, is it possible to see the Canelo negotiations start back up, or is that still a pipe dream? Is this still a pipe dream?
We got to put that one out in the air now. Because if I'm Canelo, I want
that. Yeah.
If the thing is, looking at the way boxing, the whole landscape,
right?
There's some big guys at 168. I don't know if Canelo wants that.
Not no more.
Right? So if I could still give my fans a pleasing fight with a big name, who's dangerous,
I think that's the biggest money fight right now.
That's the biggest money fight. That fight is the fight of the year.
I think more people would want to see Crawford Canelo more than Canelo Benavidez, bro.
100%.
And that's interesting to say, but
yeah,
I don't see another fight making Canelo more money right now than the Crawford fight.
And if I'm gonna I'll take being the bigger guy in any fight.
Absolutely, it's if I'm Canelo, it's kind of the safest fight for me right now.
I was gonna say that without
no disrespect, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
How do you say that without disrespect?
I don't know,
because I know if Crawford was here, he'd be mad at us.
Yeah, but he and we know he do the warrior, but you going up what? This is gonna be 3 weight class.
Right.
Come on, bro. Right. Come on, bro. Hey. That don't mean we don't believe in you.
That's a fact.
But it's a hell of a feat, bro.
Skills pay the bills, but both dudes are so skilled. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah. That would be an amazing fight, bro. That has potential to be like in regard. Okay, let me say this. Let me say this. You guys out there watch MMA. You watch MMA. John Jones.
Right.
When he's getting ready for a fight, that dude takes damn near a year to study and get his body prepared.
100%.
You get what I'm saying? Especially moving up to the heavyweight division, right?
He took his time. He gained his weight.
Right.
Walked around in the weight.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the best suggestion I would have for Terence Crawford. Yeah. But right now it's money.
Right. He don't got the time.
He don't got the time. 37? Something 36?
I want to say 36, 37.
Yeah, 36, 37.
Yeah.
I just turned 37, so 37's in my head. But yeah, 36, 37 or whatever. That's pretty old for boxing.
In boxing years, yeah.
In boxing years, that's pretty old. So I don't think he has the time to wait, bro. Yeah. I really don't. But we'll see what is next for him. Obviously, we wish him the best. Still our fighter of the year?
For sure.
Still our fighter of the year, no matter what anybody else says, man. All right, moving right along. Let's see. Since we're talking about the whole situation with like promoters maybe getting upset or power getting taken from them, there's a promoter right now, ironically enough, that has big beef with his biggest fighter. That's Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia, man. You've been keeping up with what's been going
100%. And it's funny because that relates to the same card that we were just talking about.
Right.
So let's talk about it, man.
Right.
Ryan Garcia and De La Hoya, those guys need to cut ties.
It's pretty bad. But the onus is on De La Hoya though.
Yeah,
because Garcia, I believe, has a few more years on his deal. You know, you signed him deals young, and
I think they restructured. I know he had a restructure before. He wasn't happy with the pricing, but I don't know what the length of the years is.
So Ryan Garcia has about 3 years left on his contract. That is a very long time.
They're married together.
Yeah, they're married right now. Yeah, they're married. He was together. He was with him longer than he was in his actual marriage.
It's great.
Which is crazy, man.
How do they get on the right page?
I don't think there's a way to get on the right page. There's certain things that happen between men, and there's a few of those things that are like there's no going back.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the level of disrespect that I've seen between these two and just love loss that has happened. I mean, these guys aren't related. They aren't brothers or anything. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like once Ryan Garcia starts seeing as, oh, this guy, he doesn't love me. He's only been taking advantage of me. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that does something to your psyche, especially as a young man. So personally, I don't think they kiss and make up, so to speak. I don't think they get back on the same page. But again, like I said, I think the onus is going to be on Oscar De La Hoya to do. It's hard to say what's right because this is business and this is a contract that was signed, and you weren't tricked or anything, so you gotta kind of gotta honor that. But this is not good. I don't think this is good for boxing. I don't think this is good for Golden Boy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, guys are still signing to them though.
It's two funny things. We saw the Ramirez Garcia stuff come out last week.
Right.
And Ryan shot it down immediately.
Right.
And now Golden Boy's like, look at all you got.
Yeah.
Look at your options. Right.
Another chair
being pulled, right? But it's also funny that, Oscar's on thin ice because you've already lost Canelo.
Yeah.
Right? This technically Ryan's your last star.
Oh yeah.
Right? Star. We like Virgil.
Yeah.
But Virgil's not a star to non-boxing fans. Ryan Garcia is a star.
I don't even think Virgil has the star power because that's the thing, the charisma, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a
personality wise, right?
Yeah.
Ryan has the entire package.
Absolutely.
Good looking kid.
Right.
Can talk. All of those things. Good smile. He's like a model.
Yeah.
So you don't want to lose this kid for business wise, even if you don't like him.
Right. I think Oscar has to fix it, man.
Yeah.
He has to figure it out.
It's on Oscar.
He has to fix it. But hey, moving on from, I guess you can call that beef, from that beef to another beef I noticed last week. Adrian Bronner, bruh.
Yeah.
And Bill Haney.
Yeah.
First of all, where does Adrian Bronner come from, bro? What's going on? Why?
So I think he's trying to pull his last card. And I can respect that because I saw him he was trying to get a fight with Ryan. Right. He's going at all the guys at 140 who have a name.
Yes.
They're definitely talented guys, but he thinks of them as kids probably.
Literally.
He probably thinks of them as kids. Right. So from his perspective, I could understand why he would want to fight them. Devin, Ryan. I do think all of them in bad for him.
I agree.
But I can understand from his side of the street where he's standing, all these kids, they're getting money now. They're in the position he used to be. There's nothing like being a used to.
Yeah, and it's so tough because he had Adrian Bronner. If you guys don't know Adrian Bronner, he's the other AB. The problem, right? He's the guy that used to come in the ring. They were trying to make him up to be the next Floyd. He would come in with the brush my hair, you know what I mean? He was winning multi-weight division.
Though. Real star power.
Bona fide star.
Real charisma.
Boxer, puncher. He was amazing back then.
If you're someone who's unfamiliar with AB, when you look up his clips, you're going to be dying laughing.
Yeah.
Because he has a bunch of viral clips.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a funny guy. I'm actually still rooting for him.
Yeah. I don't like to see this right now, man.
Yeah. My only thing is I don't like to see guys who are on top try to skip steps. And it's man, AB, I know he signed with Don King, and he had a good win.
That ain't a good look.
And then it looked like he fell off the track a little bit, got a little bit out of shape. It's man, keep building yourself back up. Obviously, time isn't on his side. So it's man, he's trying to do anything he can to get a big fight.
It just looks bad on him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, again, wishing him the best. But I think he has it seems like he has a few more things going on right now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember who the fighter was. It wasn't Jesse Vargas, was it? He ran up on him. It looks like they were at some kind of resort or something like that.
I think it was Jesse Vargas recently, yeah.
And he was Jesse Vargas was treating him like he's an alcoholic or something, man. If you don't get them, it looked. I didn't like how it looked. It looked pretty bad, bro. So
did you see the interview where he was drunk?
I didn't catch which one. I mean, there's been a few, right?
Yeah, but it was one last year, kind of recent, towards the end of last year.
I think I know what you're talking about.
After his fight, he was there. I think he was in the interview with another fighter named Bang Williams.
Yeah,
and he was.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was pretty bad, man. So, wishing him the best.
Shout out to AB. Man.
Shout out to AB. If
he's
it's
still
helping,
one of my favorite fighters.
He's at
hilarious Bandcamp.
Yeah,
all that stand up. I'm a big AB guy, man. I just want to see him get to where he was supposed to. He didn't get to where he was supposed to be. No. So I just want to see if he's gonna try to get back up. Man, I feel like he should go at guys that was near his age range. Maybe you could get a fight with Danny Garcia or something, right? I don't think that'll work out for you, but he won't be the favorite.
No, he won't. Fights, I would like to see that though. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
You're trying to go at these young guys, and picking a fight with Bill Haney.
Yeah, and I want to get to that actually, man. I want to get your take on that, but let's do this right quick, man. Let's take a quick non-commercial break. We'll be right back. All right. And we are back from the non-commercial break. So one thing we can't forget, man, and I'm not gonna front, it kind of slipped my mind as we were running through everything, man. We talked about the Ryan Garcia fight actually not coming through with Rolly Romero. And like you reminded me, the reason why that didn't come through is because that chair actually went to Pitbull Cruz.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of that fight, I know it's not yet, but it's on the card we mentioned. Who do you like in that situation?
Yeah, so I think just the fight in general, I don't know if I have a side yet. I think it's super interesting.
Uh-huh.
Pitbull Cruz's first fight at 140.
Right.
He's a shorter guy.
Really short, yeah.
Right. Rolly's going to be a big 140 that night. So I think that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the first PBC pay-per-view that'll be on Amazon.
Right.
It's interesting to me that that's coming in March. It's like, man, the year kicked off and y'all haven't had a fight yet until March, technically for the whole PBC side. Right. So it'll be real interesting also to see if PBC picks up some other type of, maybe they go back to Fox or whatever it was, but to get on regular TV, because I'm like, dang, they won't have a fight until March.
I feel like Amazon maybe bit off a little more than they can chew as far as thinking it was going to be a lot easier to set up. Maybe they thought they could just jump in and use existing contracts that other entities had and not realizing that it's probably going to take you a little more business and setting up an infrastructure to handle fights, especially fights of this magnitude.
For sure.
Because this is a big fight. It's going to be a big night. Especially with that card.
I think we get a war, though. What about you?
Oh, yeah.
I think that fight is a war. It's not going to be any skill, no movement.
It's going to be a war.
War.
Man, I can't wait to do a who you got on that one.
I'm surprised they did that. Just
what's up?
I feel like whoever loses that, not that, I think they should take a step back, but just the way that some of the people in boxing look at Rolly, right?
Right.
Let's say Pitbull Cruz doesn't come out on top of that. That's
a
a hill to climb because the way that he's not an easy fight.
Nah.
And the way that people look at Rolly, I'm surprised that they did that.
Rolly would literally have to get, like, I can see maybe a jab literally right down the middle, or a right hook. Like it'd have to be something like obviously Pitbull doesn't see coming because he's pretty clammed up. You know what I mean? Not necessarily clamshell, but he's usually really tight, super high guard, tucked in, almost Tyson. If I could say Tyson-esque.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? Tyson-esque. Right. But he's usually coming in really. It kind of looks like
100%.
Tyson a little bit. So
you can see the influence.
Yeah, Rolly hasn't really. I don't think he's dealt with that
type of style. It would put him on his back foot.
Yeah, and then and he's gonna be having to punch down now, which we've seen him have a few issues with that fighting Gervonta.
It'll be interesting.
It's gonna be a very interesting fight. But again, like I said, this ain't necessarily who you got. But and now that we're talking about Rolly, the footage, man. You saw the footage. You sent it to me through the DM or whatnot on Instagram. Yeah.
Teofimo special.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
Teofimo special. Absolutely. Stuff like that just reminds you that there's levels to everything in life.
Levels. And what we're talking about is sparring footage that was released from, I'm assuming, Teofimo's camp?
I think so.
Yeah. Teofimo Lopez sparred Rolly Romero back in the day, a few years back. And it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
In my opinion, I think that's worse than a knockdown or like a flash knockout because sometimes stuff happens, a punch that you may not see. Right. He was getting whooped on.
Outclassed. Like finding out that you're not on somebody's level. Ooh, that is tough. That is tough. You
could just hear multiple times people be like, "Stop it!" Like
right.
That,
right. And one of these episodes, just one of these episodes, we're gonna have to talk about Teofimo Lopez. Like what's going on with him? We're not this one, because I think that's a lot to unpack. But I'm gonna get to that one because he be saying some interesting stuff, dog. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I think he has a lot going on in his life, just everything.
Yeah,
interesting dude.
But hey, moving right along. All right, we mentioned before the break, Adrian Bronner and Bill Haney.
Yeah.
All right, so do you have anything first of all that you want to add there?
No,
okay. So my question to you, right? Because we're both, we respect Devin Haney, we respect what they're doing over there on that side. But I just have to ask, bro, is Bill Haney doing too much?
I think so.
I
love that what he's done for his son.
For his son, right?
But the goal was for Devin to be the star, right?
Right.
All I see is Bill.
You can't be talking way more than Devin, dog.
All I see is Bill.
It's getting a little like weird at this point. I get the wrestling standpoint, like I get that aspect. playing the heel, so to speak. But
100%.
go home. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
All I see is Bill all the time. Bill's at the fights more than Dev. Bill's in the
yeah,
cameras more than Dev. He's
yeah.
talking more than Dev. And I thought Dev was supposed to be the star.
That's a fact. So, man, I don't know what else to say to that situation other than maybe kind of dial it
Just
back a
dial
little
it
bit,
back a
just a
little
little
bit.
bit. Like,
Yeah.
don't, because they're gonna try to antagonize you every time they see you now that you've made yourself out to be that guy that will give or reciprocate that attention or that energy.
100% the energy, yeah.
It's like, so if you're putting it out there, you're gonna get more of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems like a sharp guy, so I can't
sharp.
I'm confused at how you don't know
He's
this at your big
super sharp.
age.
He's
You know what I mean?
super sharp. Yeah. It's giving me like
What's
Angel
up?
Garcia, Teofimo senior vibes. But the one thing
Yeah.
even about Angel's chilled out.
He
right?
definitely chilled. I don't know if that
Yeah.
came with age or Danny's age.
Right,
Like, Danny
right.
had to pull him to the side, you know?
Right, but even Angel's chilled out. It's just, come on, Bill.
Right.
We love you, Bill. You just got into it with B Hop. Come on, man.
Chill, Bill. Chill, Bill. Not kill, Bill. Chill, Bill.
Did you see Devin's post on Instagram?
Which one?
So he just posted like a 6. You know how they posted collage pictures?
That happened today?
It was a couple of days ago. In the last picture, he posted like the funny picture of Bernard with his gloves naked.
No.
Oh yeah, protecting his dad. I like that.
Yeah,
I
for sure, for sure. That's a bond that shall never be broken, man.
Yeah.
So salute, man. And I was like, Bill. I felt like Bill was gonna be more like a Kenny Porter or something like that.
Because Bill is sharp. So you show your intellect.
Yeah, chill though, man. Like, and that's not to say Kenny never talked. Kenny did speak, but like
all the time.
That's why I asked, is Bill doing too much? Because it's kind of like, dial it back a little bit, Chief. Like, you know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Especially, I think all the tough guy altercations and stuff. Because it's like, man, you're a great businessman. It's clear to see by how well you and Devin are doing.
Right.
So it's like, you don't always also have to be the tough guy. We know you had the drug charges back in the day, Bill. You don't gotta flex on the kids, Bill. We know.
Yeah, we know where you from, man. We know where you from, man. It's okay, bro. It's okay. You doing your thing, man. You doing your thing, all right? New religion, all that, man. Yeah, you just approach everything with love, respect, and some things aren't worth even getting into, man.
For sure.
And we're just seeing a little too much of you, just a little bit, man. Yeah. Still a lot of respect, though. Salute. We love what y'all are doing out there, still. But just a little advice. Yeah. Just a little advice. Remember, we're unbiased here.
That's a fact.
All right. So I think that was all I got, man. Do you have anything else before we go to who you got?
No, man.
All right, let's do it, man. All right, so this is another session of Who You Got. All right, so the fight coming up this week, or the bigger fight coming up this week, is going to be Jaime Munguia versus John Ryder. And by the way, this is, if y'all listening to it later, this is January 27th, 2024. So as far as this fight goes, how do you got it going, bro?
I just think Munguia is too much right now.
Uh-huh.
They're kind of propping him up. They're setting him up for a really big fight that's coming up. Notice that they're picking a ex-Canelo opponent.
Right.
I think he's tailor-made for Munguia. I think they're going to put him in a smaller ring.
Right.
He's a good fighter. He's a dog. But I think they're going to use the Canelo fight as an example.
Right.
And they're going to try to mow through Ryder to kind of set up for a big fight. And I think Munguia is able to do it.
This might be my first time disagreeing, dog. This might be my first time disagreeing. I think I do agree with you saying it's kind of tailor-made. And is the ring officially smaller, though? Did they?
I haven't seen the measurements, but it's a Golden Boy fight. He's the A side.
Yeah.
The Canelo fight, that ring was also small.
Right.
I'm just assuming it won't be very big.
I think it would behoove Jaime Munguia to make this a boxing match. I think he should not be enticed to truly brawl. His last few fights, whenever that happens, I think it gets a little too muddy. It moves into the split decision type of fight. And I don't think this is I feel like he can box, and Ryder wants to make it dirty. Ryder wants to make it a fight. We saw when he fought Canelo. We know what he can do. You know what I mean, he's not somebody you're gonna roll over.
Right.
Not at all. So man, I'm gonna actually say split decision Ryder, dog.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
I can
I'm
see
rolling
it.
the dice on that one. I
No,
know.
no.
I'm
I
being
mean,
spicy
I
on that
can
one.
see it. Munguia does take a lot of shots,
Yeah,
right?
he
And
does.
that's
His last fight was like,
that's the
yeah,
downfall to just his style.
right.
But I do think he has picked up some skills, things of that nature.
Right.
I just think his volume and his youth,
Right.
and his power are
Right.
just going to be too much. However, it looks, it could look ugly for him for a couple rounds.
Yeah.
I just think ultimately he's, it's prime for Munguia to put on a show,
Right.
for either an Edgar Berlanga or
Ooh.
a Canelo fight next. It's just
Yeah.
what looks like it's in the water for
Right.
him, and I think this is Golden Boy has served Ryder up on a plate for him.
Let me ask you this. When was the last time that you felt truly, while watching a Munguia fight, that he was the monster that they were setting him up to be like 4 years ago?
So you're right, because I think the damage has weighed on him. He gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
But I think punching power wise, he definitely could still correct them.
I agree.
He's
I agree.
definitely a powerful kid.
He could. Don't get me wrong. He could definitely stop Ryder.
Yeah.
I just see a split decision loss in this picture, bro. But I like Munguia. I'm always rock with the young guy. Salute to John Ryder as well. But we'll see.
That's why we're here. That's why we're unbiased, right?
Exactly. That's why we're unbiased.
I love that.
That's why we're unbiased, man. That's why we're unbiased. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Obviously, there's tons of fights, but we'd be here all day if we try to talk about all the fights. For sure. Man. But
a lot of young guys on that card too.
Absolutely. So, it's gonna be a great card. Y'all check it out. It's definitely gonna be great when y'all don't want to miss it. All right. But and I'll probably be on Twitter with it, commentating throughout the whole fight. That's fun. You've done that before?
So I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. I actually try to stay away from Twitter during the fights because I have a friend that I love dearly that I watch a lot of the fights with, and I feel like while he's on Twitter during the fight, it skews what he's seeing.
Interesting.
So
okay, that's fair.
It's just one of those things for me while I'm watching, especially big fights or fights that people are going to be tweeting about. Because I catch everything. Everybody's not tweeting about everything. Right. We catch everything. Right. But so when it's big fights like this, I probably won't be on social media like looking during the fight because I just feel like sometimes it can skew what you're looking at.
That is very true. That is very true. And that was part of the reason why I had that little, I ain't gonna call it a rant, but that little statement at the beginning of the show, at the top of the show. So because I do see that a lot. I ain't gonna front, I do see that a lot. But man, if you don't have anything else, I'm good, man. This was a short one today, bro. A little over or under 40 minutes.
Yeah, not too much. There is a young guy fighting on the card, the Golden Boy card, Darius Fulgham.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him. He was Golden Boy's Fighter of the Year, Prospect of the Year.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. He's getting placed on a really big card.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what he does too.
We're definitely gonna be checking him out. All right. But I think that's it, brother.
Yeah.
We are out, man. Cheers to another good one. All right.
Counter.
Hey, let's go. Follow the Pool Counter Podcast on IG and YouTube at the Pool Counter Pod and at Pool Counter Pod on Twitter. Available where you get your podcast. Show your host some love at Wendy Antoine 5 and email the show at thepoolcounterboxingpod@gmail.com. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting the movement. And remember, leave 5 stars, share the love. Peace.